Okay, well, I'm not happy at all. Uh, okay, so if you guys couldn't tell, basically every fucking website fucking lied with how to watch these things live. Um, Basically, I think the only way you could watch it is if you had a paid subscription to Peacock, which, no, don't have it. Not willing to chum out whatever money just for this. That's not happening. So they said, okay, if you don't have that, go to the Golden Globes YouTube page, and they never had a video. They said if you don't have that, they will announce them on the Today Show, which they've done before. They've usually what they'll do is they'll announce some TV and a couple of the smaller film categories, smaller as in like some of the tech categories, and then they'll take a break, and then they'll come back and say, okay, here's the major categories, including the top categories and stuff, and they announce them live. So I do have Hulu, so I pulled that up, and the Today Show was just talking to Al fucking Roker, who's, I guess, recovering from something. Godspeed to him, hope he recovers and everything. But still, it's like, okay, this is fucking bullshit. It was like everything fucking lied. So, I just had to sit by and watch Hollywood Reporter and IndieWire and a bunch of these websites just slowly update as they put everything on. And I believe I have the full list now, and for the film categories, that is. And I kind of looked them over, and it's like as stuff was coming, I'm like, okay, what? It's like certain sites were saying like top categories when other ones were just going to like a supporting category and stuff. So I'm like, okay, well, I don't know if that's right. And it was like eventually I pulled up like 3 of them here, and they all match, I think. So, anyways, and I went ahead and did some totals here. I only have about 20 minutes to talk here, so I got to try to summarize everything as best I can here in 20 minutes or less. But if I'm counting correctly here, Banshees of Inisherin, this is the most nominations we've seen for a film in a long time. We're going back to, I think, Nashville was the last film to have this many competitive nominations. That is for categories that we've consistently seen. Now, Nashville did score, I think, like 11 Globe nominations, but I believe 3 or 4 of them, I believe the number is 3 off the top of my head at whatever time in the morning here. 3 of them came from the newcomer category, which they do not have anymore. So, in fairness, I didn't count those. Otherwise, yeah, you'd say Nashville is like the most nominated film of the Globes of all time. But they rarely go above 7. Sometimes 6 is their top. We do have another film that has 6 nominations this morning and a couple that have 5. But Banshees scored in 8 categories. 8 categories, which is really nice considering it has been, kind of surprisingly left off Indie Spirit Awards, which again it might not have qualified for, but it might have still. I don't know. It was weird because they had some international films, even though this is, I believe all produced in Ireland and stuff, and everything. But I didn't see that was not noticed like at all by the Indie Spirits. But it's in motion picture, comedy musical. It's in director. It's in actor, comedy musical. It's got 2 supporting actors in. It's got supporting actress, screenplay, and score. So that's 8 nominations, which is, La La Land, which is supposedly like, the film they've loved the most and stuff, that had 7. Now, obviously, with that, unless there's a tie, Banshees is not going to get all 8 wins. But still, that's a lot higher than I had it. I had it at everything except I pulled it out of director to put in James Cameron, which did happen, and Avatar did score also in motion picture drama, so those 2 last-minute changes worked. But there's a few other things we'll get to here. And it looks like Everything Everywhere All at Once, which actually I just saw last night, so if I had more time I might go into more detail about how I felt about it. But I can say this, it entertained the hell out of me, and right after it was over I was like, I kind of want to put it at my top of the list now to win Best Picture because I would kind of like to see it happen because it was such an entertaining movie. But that's in motion picture, comedy musical. It's in director. It's in lead actress, comedy musical. It's in supporting actor. It does have a supporting actress, though I picked the wrong one. It is Jamie Lee Curtis and not Stephanie Sue, which personally, Stephanie Sue is 10 times the performance that Jamie Lee Curtis is. Jamie Lee Curtis is fine in the film, but I didn't think spectacular. And then the last nomination is for screenplay. And then a couple films had 5. Fabelmans, which is in for picture, drama, director, lead actress, drama. It's also in for screenplay, and then it's also in for score. So it is missing. I had it in for a couple of those supporting actor nominations, but Supporting actor is always a weird one here, so yeah, that should remind me next time just to go off the wall with some of those picks. And then Babylon. Babylon scored very, very well here. Much better than I expected. It is in for comedy musical. It is in for actress comedy musical. Diego Calva is also in. Brad Pitt is also in and supporting actor. And it did make it in for score, which, yeah, score was one I definitely had it for. So those are your top 4 performers here. So let's go down the list and then just briefly talk about the ones I have right and the ones I have wrong. For motion picture drama, your 5 nominees are Avatar, Elvis, Fabelmans, Tar, and Top Gun Maverick. So really, Elvis was the only one I missed here, and Women Talking. Women Talking really massively underperformed here, at least from my estimates. No director for that one. No acting categories. The only thing it got into was screenplay and score, which is very, very surprising that that one didn't get anywhere. Some of these, the female-led films really this year, I guess Babylon is a female lead, Everything Everywhere All at Once is a female lead, but nothing, I mean, I guess Fabelmans I don't think you would say is a female lead film. But it's like, nope, they just didn't do well. No females in director this year, which, yeah, that totally, that didn't do well for my predictions either, because I had Sarah Polley and Gina Bryce Bythewood for The Woman King getting in there, but yeah, that didn't happen. For motion picture comedy musical, your nominees are Babylon, Banshees, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Glass Onion, and Triangle of Sadness. So that's this one and one other category I got 5 out of 5 on, so that at least happened, even though some of these nominations are really weird. So really not too much more to go on that one. In the directing category, we've already mentioned a couple of them. James Cameron for Avatar, the Danielses for Everything Everywhere All at Once. Baz Luhrmann got in for Elvis, which I probably should have put him higher on the list, but didn't even occur to me that he might make it in. Steven Spielberg for The Fabelmans and Martin McDonagh for Banshees. So yeah, I did mention the 2 females that did not get in. Otherwise, I don't think, of those top films and stuff, it's like none of them were mysteriously missing from director otherwise. I mean, it's like Tar arguably was close to this one, and maybe Damien Chazelle for Babylon, but otherwise it's like, I don't know, those 2, I wasn't really feeling the Globes were going to go for him, so that worked out. Not to predict them. In actor drama, you've got Austin Butler for Elvis, Brendan Fraser for The Whale, Hugh Jackman for The Son, Bill Nighy for Living, and Jeremy Pope for The Inspection, so I did get all 5 of those. So again, not too much to add there. Actress drama, you have Cate Blanchett for Tar, Olivia Colman for Empire of Light, Viola Davis for The Woman King, Ana de Armas, who appears for Blonde, and Michelle Williams for The Fabelmans. So good for Ana de Armas, who is a previous nominee here at the Globes. That is worth mentioning. So yeah, the only one, the big shock, the one that's missing is Danielle Deadwyler for Till, who just won at, I believe it was Gotham. So it felt like she was really gaining momentum, but Till is nowhere to be seen here this morning. So clearly that and Women Talking were 2 films that the Globes just wasn't their movie this year. In the top acting categories in comedy musical, actor comedy musical nominees are Diego Calva for Babylon, Daniel Craig for Glass Onion, Adam Driver for White Noise, Colin Farrell for Banshees, and Ralph Fiennes for The Menu. So, yeah, I did not have Ralph Fiennes in. I didn't, even though, again, he is a past nominee, I didn't think they were going to go for him here. I had, Ticket to Paradise getting a couple, but that didn't work. And Billy Eichner, I kind of threw in the last couple of weeks, and I was, for whatever reason, I wasn't feeling him earlier, but then after they pulled Daniel Radcliffe and that film wasn't qualifying anymore for the Weird Al story or whatever, I was like, okay, I didn't think Calva would get in. I wasn't thinking Ralph Fiennes, so I was like, okay, I put Billy Eichner in. But yep, Bros is not here either. In actress comedy musical, the nominees are Margot Robbie for Babylon, Anya Taylor-Joy for The Menu, Emma Thompson for Good Luck to You, Leo Grand, Leslie Manville for Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris, Michelle Yeoh for Everything Everywhere All at Once. So really, Anya Taylor-Joy was the only one I missed. Again, a previous nominee, so it's like generally that helps you. But then again, George Clooney and Julia Roberts are both previous nominees, so that was my thinking on that one. Now we get to the weird shit. Supporting actor. Brendan Gleeson for Banshees. Ke Huy Quan, who should win everything, by the way, for Everything Everywhere All at Once. He's phenomenal in that film. Barry Keoghan for Banshees. Okay. Brad Pitt for Babylon, and Eddie Redmayne for The Good Nurse, which actually I did speak to somebody last week who had seen The Good Nurse, and they were like, oh yeah, Eddie Redmayne's really good in it. So I'm like, all right. I don't have it on a list of films to see right now, but yeah, Ben Whishaw did not show up. Neither of the guys from The Fabelmans showed up, Paul Dano or Judd Hirsch. So yeah, that's instead you got Barry Keoghan getting in there again. Very scene-stealing performance. So I'm not completely bowled over that he's in. Like, that's not a complete shock, but okay. I don't know. I mean, we did see, of course, McDonagh's last film get 2 supporting actors in. So we'll see if it carries over. I've got him on the list, because you can predict On Gold Derby, but they only give you 6. So I'm like, well, I don't know. It could be 8 for all we know tomorrow at Critics' Choice. But I think Barry Keoghan would get in there as well. So I had both him and Brendan Gleeson on the list for that at least. So I would say, yeah, he probably does show up again tomorrow. But now that I've said it, he's probably not going to. So that's how that works. In supporting actress, again, a few surprises on this list. Angela Bassett gets in for Black Panther, Carrie Condon for Banshees, Jamie Lee Curtis for Everything Everywhere All at Once, Dolly DeLon for Triangle of Sadness, and Carey Mulligan for She Said. I do have Carrie getting in at SAG, but I wasn't sure about the Globes, but there she is. And again, I swapped out. I had Stephanie Sue instead for Everything Everywhere All at Once, which again, I think her performance is superior in almost every way. Jamie Lee Curtis is fun in the role, and it's definitely, I don't know, I definitely think it's more of a comedic role. Her nomination here is arguably a career nomination, you could argue. I mean, not to say I don't get it, but it's like, I don't really see how her performance is the standout here and not Stephanie Sue. That's stupid to me, but anyways. And then if I have her name right, it's Dolly DeLon for Triangle of Sadness, which I have not really heard much of anything about her performance, or really the only performance out of the film that everybody was talking about early was Woody Harrelson, but that seems to have evaporated. So okay, let's see. Otherwise, the ones I missed for that category. Nobody from Women Talking. Hong Chow did not get in for The Whale, even though she did make a nomination here for Downsizing when that one was kind of starting to gain steam. Nominees for screenplay are Tar, The Fabelmans, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Banshees, and Women Talking. So Glass Onion was the only one I missed there in favor of Tar. For animated feature, they only have 4 nominees this year. Pinocchio, Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, Puss in Boots, and Turning Red. So, yeah, A Strange World and My Father's Dragon were not in there. The score category, again, these sometimes go off the wall a little bit. I had Bones and All getting in there. That didn't happen. Instead, you have Pinocchio, which is Alexandre Desplat, which I probably should have looked into a little more. Women Talking, which I believe I had. Babylon I had. The Fabelmans I had. Banshees I have in at the Oscars, but I did not have it in at the Globes here. I need to go back because I have my list here for the ones I had predicted to get in at the Globes. So yeah, Avatar and Bones and All were the 2 that I missed there. Let's see here. I gotta go back to a different list. For the song nominations, you have Carolina from Where the Crawdads Sing, Ciao Papa from Pinocchio, Hold My Hand from Top Gun, Not To from Triple R, and Lift Me Up from Black Panther. Which reminds me that I need to list Black Panther. That has 2 nominations. So, yeah, I always like to list the ones with multiple nominations, and Triple R also has 2, which we'll get to in a second here. So I believe I just went with the ones I have at the Oscars right now, which, again, I need to get to that list here. So that would be Lift Me Up, Nobody Like You, Vegas, Hold My Hand, and Stand Up. So I only got 2 out of those 5, but yeah, sometimes that song category can be really difficult to predict. And then an international feature, you've got, or film not in English language, I guess is how they're saying it now. Triple R from India, All Quiet on the Western Front from Germany, Argentina 1985 from Argentina, Close from Belgium, and Decision to Leave from South Korea. And I looked at it later, I was like, oh, there is a chance that Triangle of Sadness or, which I believe we had mentioned last time, or even Everything Everywhere All at Once, which does have a lot of subtitles and stuff, a lot of, is it Mandarin or Cantonese or something? It's like whatever their dialect is there. They do have quite a bit of that in the film, so I thought, oh, there might be a shot at lands, because, they changed the rule beforehand. You could only be in that category. You couldn't be also in motion picture, drama, or comedy musical. but they did change that rule after Parasite and everything that happened there. But yeah, that's everything for that one. Which I did have. Again, I'm going to the wrong section here. In international, I had All Quiet on the Western Front getting in. I did have Decision to Leave. I did not have the ones I had that did not make it were Bardo, Quiet Girl, and Saint Omer. Yeah, so films with multiple nominations. I think we topped Banshees at 8, Everything Everywhere All at Once at 6. Fabelmans and Babylon both have 5. For films that have 3, you've got Elvis, Tar, and Pinocchio. And then Avatar, Top Gun, Glass Onion, Triangle of Sadness, The Menu, Women Talking, Black Panther, and Triple R all have 2 nominations. So, again, I think the big story for what's in and what's out, the thing for what's in is Banshees. Banshees went over very, very well here at the Globes. Basically, it got everything it basically could have. It's not missing from any major categories or anything. Babylon did very well. I thought they'd have a mixed reception to that one. It seems to have gone over very well. Again, outside of maybe 1 or 2 nominations, it scored everything it could. The Fabelmans, respectable performance. I had it getting these 5 and 2 more in supporting actress, so I had it at 7. So that one, by my estimate, did underperform. And generally, yeah, I was thinking, okay, if it doesn't get both, it should get at least one of those guys in supporting, but it got neither. Yeah, so that's going forward. We'll see if they can bounce back tomorrow. One of them, at least one of them, at Critics' Choice. Everything Everywhere All at Once, outside of maybe getting like 2 slots for supporting actress, I really don't see where else that could have gotten in. So that did extremely well. Elvis getting into director and picture. I knew it was a big threat for picture. Director had not really crossed my mind, but otherwise I think almost everybody had Austin Butler getting in. So yeah, so that one I would say getting the director nomination was pretty big for that one. Tar, missing director, makes up for it with a screenplay nomination. It is in for picture and also for actress. Top Gun didn't score anything more than what we thought. I was probably the one I'm most glad of is not putting Tom Cruise in, because I think almost everyone was predicting Tom Cruise by the end, but nope, I stuck to my guns on that one. I stuck to my Top Guns. Okay, that was lame. Glass Onion didn't do more than we expected. Personally, I had it into 3 categories, including screenplay, but it didn't score there. So otherwise, that one didn't super exceed nomination expectations or anything. Yeah, I think, again, for the ones that are disappointing here, Women Talking, just the 2 nominations. No acting, no directing, no film for that one. She Said I had in there for a while, but yeah, that one just didn't score very well either. Let's see. The Whale, I know, kind of disappointed with absolutely no representation at all from Indie Spirits. But today, outside of Hong Chow, I didn't really have it in for much else. Like, I didn't have Aronofsky, and I didn't have it in for film. I pulled it from film after a little bit in favor of Avatar. The Sun, I think, yeah, obviously early on we thought that one. And I could even see, just because he's kind of a favorite at the Globes here, this Hugh Jackman I can see even potentially missing a few more slots if the film just doesn't score at all the rest of the season, if it just struggles. I can see the struggle bus kind of starting for that one after this. Let's see here. Otherwise, yeah, I think obviously the biggest miss for me here was Women Talking, which I had in a bunch of categories. I had that one getting how many? 5 nominations? I had it getting 5 or 6, and it only got 2. So that's a big letdown for them. And they're in second or third place, depending on where you put them in Best Picture right now. So that is not a good sign at all for them going forward. Yeah, and after Gotham and some of the critics' prizes have gone with Everything Everywhere All at Once for Best Film, I'm starting to think that one is really, if The Fabelmans is just not going to be for everyone, Everything Everywhere All at Once, I think, can really start to gain some momentum here. I think it's going to be a tight battle between that and Banshees for picture, comedy, musical. But I can see Everything Everywhere All at Once getting a couple acting wins here, if Margot Robbie does not win for Babylon. So that'll be a 2-way battle there. It can also win possibly for screenplay. So it's got some real chances here. For the picture drama category, I don't think, even though Elvis has those top three categories in director, picture, and actor, I think The Fabelmans is still the safe pick there for now. I don't see them going Avatar, and with Tar not getting in for director, that's not necessarily a death note here, but because obviously we've seen films like Bohemian Rhapsody still get in without director, obviously, but and win. So yeah. Otherwise, I'll pick Cate Blanchett for now, an actress. Brendan Fraser for actor. Let's see here. Colin Farrell for comedy musical actor. Supporting actress, with the only nominee I had getting in being Carrie Condon. That messes up that category significantly. I would look for maybe somebody like Carey Mulligan to upset there. I don't see Carrie Condon winning that one. So, yeah, that one I'm not sure about at all. I'm going to root for Ke Huy Quan all the way for supporting actor, and I think he's got a decent shot to win. The directing category, for who wins, boy, maybe the Danielses, possibly, or Spielberg. One of the two. Spielberg hasn't won here in a while, so they might just go Spielberg. It's otherwise, animated feature should be a slam dunk for Pinocchio at this point. Score is interesting. We could definitely see John Williams win there. Screenplay, I'm going to go Everything Everywhere All at Once for now. Song, probably the Black Panther song, and international feature is really, that's, I guess, All Quiet on the Western Front for my early prediction, but that's going to be about it. So, all right, I think I'm out of time here. So, We'll come back tomorrow, probably later in the day, and we'll discuss the Critics' Choice nominations, who's in and who's out, and who continues to have a good start here to their Oscar season. But thank you, Globes, and everybody who was reporting on the Globes for getting everything fucking wrong this morning and make me look like a jackass because I said, hey, I'm going to do live reactions, and now, morning of, this is what you get. All right, peace out.